Hello everyone, it's Sloth here, and today we will be playing one of the most fun Esper archetypes because we are talking about Superfriends. And man, Esper has everything best. White, blue, and black. We can make everything. We can have Teferi, Ashiok, and Eternal Wanderer together with the Emperor. And not only this, the control archetype is something I personally enjoy the most. However, this really gives you a feeling of playing creatures and, more action-packed gameplay. So if you want, something to happen during the games and not just removal and counter spell, this is probably the deck for you because Esper is in a great spot. It has literally everything and all the best answers, on top of extremely strong planeswalkers. Even though you don't see Ashiok too much, this card is absolutely insane, and Sorin will prove how great this can be against all the aggro decks rampaging in the standard. And the big secret of the deck is Wedding Announcement. This makes everything way stronger than it should be, and for this reason you are getting more and more value from everything. We will have some really interesting games that show you that you can burn through value and you still will get more value than normal decks basically. But when you see the game you will know. So guys, let's go into the games. I hope you enjoy Esper, and if you want to subscribe, like I'm not stopping you, alright? And I hope you'll have a great fun today. So enjoy guys. Alright, we're going first. Let's sit. Let's sit. How many mountains will rush us today? That's not a Jace. Alright. It seems that we have found a deck that isn't mono-red, which is pretty crazy. I consider it the first success of the day. And this will be toxic, right? And even though normally this is insanely good for them. So, even though we have decent opening, if we miss the slam drop, we would lose on the spot. And now the question, do we go Wedding Announcement? Against this kind of deck you want some beefy creatures, especially with all the planeswalkers. Like if we can draw a natural 4th land, with Wedding Announcement we can ramp it to insane value. They can give flying, exiles or phase out stuff, all this kind of things, but it's not easy. So right now we know they have something. We kinda know they have something. We probably will eat 2 toxic, which is not perfect. We drew a land, it's not the one we wanted. However, drawing land is super important, so I'm still happy. I'm not sure what to do with this counter spell. We don't want to trade right now. Yeah, this will be a big problem. Especially that, let's not, okay, here it is. Exactly, that's the card. And they decided they like it. I mean, we definitely eat it. On the bright side, the damage doesn't matter. It's all about those poison counters. It's actually worse for them, right? Because they cannot use the seed core to make it 3-2. But it will be later. It will be better later. So for 3 steps ahead, I mean, we could cycle it, but then we cannot counter this. Alright, extremely good draw. This is probably the best draw of the deck. Alright, so we could go Teferi and just make a token. If I play Emperor, it doesn't kill it. I'm not sure how we exactly should play this. So they can give flank to something. Alright, I honestly think we keep the Emperor. Especially that we can Aether Emperor or just counter spell, so we actually have quite a lot of options. We definitely want the board. Like 6/6 can trade even if he uses the other map token. And it's a little bit clunky, so he doesn't super want to do it. Man, this will be really close. I'm kinda scared, but I mean, we have plays around this. Oh man, those are good cards. Like 1 mana answers to what we have. However, we can either counter the Mar. So they want both, which is interesting. So I guess they want to fight for the board. It's basically 1 mana removal with Scry. So what he will do? I guess he can phase out some of the creatures. Huh. I don't think we can take more damage, right? I could go for the Anchorage, which is very interesting play, but I don't think it's great. Listen, very risky play. I guess we could just use 1, then play the Emperor. You know what? I'll do it. Because he definitely has something and I don't want to risk. I will sacrifice this one token because the rest of the damage doesn't go through. He doesn't make any progress, and now he needs to answer my Emperor. And they generally don't have cards that do it, right? Like, they have protection spells, but not counter spells. They might have Bring Bending, but they usually don't have it.
I've learned much during my travels.
And normally I would -2, but we know it will never go through. So instead we'll start making our board, and maybe even threaten our opponent a little bit. Listen, we will try. We will try.
Keep watch for
We could go for the lifelink, but it doesn't really matter here, right? Don't forget they can phase out all of our creatures during one of the turns. So we need to be a little bit careful. Maybe we go for Ashiok. If they don't have counter spells, we are getting a 4/4. Like instantly, and we can draw better cards for the next turns. If we can draw 1 or 2 removal, that would be way better. They can go with flying, but it gets him to 4 poison, so it's not very good. Like, it's good, but it's slow. And it costs them 1 card. So as long as they don't counter it, and I think they can't, like, they kinda need to go card for each one of those tokens, and with Wedding Announcement they are way better than they should. Alright, here we go. And also we can make another 2/2s on the next turn. We can exile something, like, we have so many possibilities. Normally I would also consider -2 on the Archangel Elspeth, but because it's poison, like, the life gain doesn't matter. So our board is pretty decent. We have 14-14 after sacrificing one of the creatures. We are tapped though. But I can just keep blocking because we're creating 2 or 3 creatures a turn, basically. So even if I lose one, like, I'm getting more and more ahead. Like, look how much better this turn looks like compared to the previous one. Alright, so Augury, getting us to 3. Like, this is scary, and I'm not sure who will win. But we'll see. Oh man. This is literally the best card of the whole deck, because it's basically a poison that draws poison nearly always. So as long as you can keep chaining them, you are just pure golden. The only problem with this card is that you can only play 4 in your poison deck, otherwise you could basically make the whole deck from this, and it would be absolutely glorious. Alright, I think we go for one of those tokens. As long as it doesn't hit our face, we're kinda okay with it. Like, look how much we can do, and in 2 turns I think we can threaten to kill him. And if we have mana open for this, we can negate it. I don't remember what happened to the Fading Hope, to be absolutely honest. Alright, you can see that he is starting to tap more and more. Let's start with Ashiok. I would love to exile something, but I don't think we can. So let's go for something that can attack and block on the same turn. And listen, we can try to get lost into counterspell. That's not bad. And 7 damage on this turn is pretty huge. We could even go harder. The nightmares are better than the token. Alright, so if we go like this, I think it should be good enough. Let's keep 1 nightmare. 1 nightmare can stay. Alright, let's sit. I don't want to, you know, do too much damage on this turn because we can do it on the next turn. That's a smart idea. They basically want to be aggressive anyway, so they don't really lose much. But at the same time, the cool part is whenever they will try to play something at the end step, we can instantly punish them. And that's a big problem, so they're kind of wasting mana every turn. And we still deal so much damage. I would love to play those, but the mana doesn't align very well. And having 2 interactions is way better. Like, now we can just go for the end step play, right? We don't have stuff that exiles anything, But we can always draw with Ashiok, right? That's kinda the point of the card. Alright, show me another swing with everything. That is interesting. So what do they have? Possibly a Ganjo. Possibly a Ganjo. Token goes here. This goes here. I think this is the play. They can buff it with the Seed Core and then trades. But I mean, that's it. It trades. And now we have also Emperor at -2, so when this is tapped, we get additional, you know, way to force some effect. Alright, that's fine. They're getting maximum value from their cards, but you know what? I think we should be winning this. I'm not super sure, because his hand is definitely scary, especially with those marches. Okay. Indestructible. This is not a good value. Like, they seem to be a little bit desperate with those plays. Like, you want to keep it for duelist or all this kind of stuff. And it seems like they're trying to survive. And we're at 4 poison. So I don't think they can win with 4 cards. Unless, even if they draw double Augury, it's 6. And they need to start drawing something that isn't Augury. So even with the perfect draw, I don't think it's enough. So let's sit. Alright, do I already want to do it? Yes, I think this is kinda important. I didn't check the mana, but with the Triumph we usually have what we need. And we can deal so much damage. This alone is 12 damage. That means it cannot block here. Alright, I think his big play is March. And probably 2 blue cards, so he can exile 5 cards. I think this is what he's waiting for. But I'm not sure if it will work. A land is okay. So, first things first. I probably should draw before playing a land. This ensures that we have a 3-3 Nightmare, like 3-3 Nightmares. So this is 9 damage already, 12. That means they need to cast something. This is colorless mana, so for all the spells, this is absolutely useless. So that means probably 1 spell. And they will play it now because they think we might not have a counter spell, but don't worry, we do. And see, this is exactly how we wanted it. I don't think we need to do anything. They will scoop in a second. I can draw something. I don't need more value. I need to have opportunity to play a card if I draw something good with Ashiok. And that's a good game. He is correct. So I feared that he will make 2 or 3 plays in a row, but his play was only March, and that was the only one. So yeah, that was an interesting game, very tense. Alright, our opponent is going first. We don't have sweepers, but we have wedding announcement and some Celestus, so we will see. Should be fine. Our curve is pretty good because we have, well, maybe not play for every turn, but you know, at least untapped land for every turn. So there's that. It would be great if we drew a 2 mana spell. Alright, you know what? I'll take the lockdown. We play a lot of those, so no. You generally can assume that at some point you will draw 1. Geeks. So really perfect opening, but is a little bit better, right? But it's kind of the same thing. So what can we do here? Because I think we go wedding announcement. Just because we can negate some of the cards and hopefully get the board. And the lockdown doesn't get everything done, unfortunately, so that's a problem. Our opponent, man, if he stacked his deck, I don't think he could ever have more perfect draws so far. So yeah, man, every time I'm just thinking, why do I even play anything that isn't removal? Well, so what is the play? We can kill this. They will lifelink quite a lot. We can kill this, this, and this. I'm not sure if that's worth it, to be honest. I think we just go with the Emperor and try to get rid of one of the 3 drops, because they're super annoying. Alright then. He can do the thing, but we will have Emperor in board. Man, like, talk about perfect draw. The whole play was that he needs to attack because obviously he wants to kill us, so then we will have spot to play the Emperor, but He's ready for this one as well. So we are not in a great spot right now. I mean, it's kinda harsh. We need to go into either removal or Sunfalls. And he went for Sorin, which is interesting. Another Gix. Alright. So he assumes that this Gix won't die, which is interesting. Like, Lockdown kinda kills everything except Gix, so he cannot attack with it. I guess he can wait for the next turns, but we can just make token and just go around it. And this has Summoning Sickness. Very interesting, very interesting. I mean, I'm going with Geeks. I'm not super sure about the play. We cannot protect the Emperor, so we just go like this, I think. Maybe he has Geeks in the hand, I'm not sure, man. Alright. The point is that we can exile basically everything except Poisoner right now. So I'm not really sure what the plan is for them. Let's try. I'm sure that that's something that I just don't know of, like Get Lost or something, but like they don't seem to be scared of the lockdown at all. But we'll try to make it work. Like, for example, right now we kinda have the even board. Of course they will play the Poisoner, but after that, like, they cannot rebuild fully unless they have more 3-drops. And with Sorin we should be able to close the game kinda easy. Like, the big thing is Wedding Announcement. Yeah, like, he's kinda replaying the thing that already was here. Maybe he has the third wave? Okay, this is insanely good card. So that kind of, like, solves everything, right? But I still think we can go with the lockdown and keep the counters potentially. So we go white, colorless. I mean, that is good enough, right? I guess we can attack first. Like, there is no downside to attacking here. Maybe he has some weird sneaky play that I don't expect, but I think it should be okay. They will have the Poisoner, but that's it. But this is a weird tap. This is the tap we don't want to do. Okay, this one is fine. Because we definitely want to have counter spell mana. Alright. The life gain doesn't make a difference. It's basically this Poisoner against our deck. Alright, he gets the card, which is... okay, that's pretty good. But not a big difference. So, we'll see what's up. So, we will counter this. I think our opponent is assuming this. So, very possibly he has, like, sharded or something. We'll see. Like, not for this turn, but for the next turn. Preacher. Alright. Preacher is kinda okay. But my draws are something else. Alright, so what do we go for? 3-4 is a good deal, I think. We will lose Sorin, but with Celestus we can find something else. We can protect something with Negate, so, you know, they don't have a lot of non-creature spells, but even the Adventure is a spell, so, you know, sooner or later we will get something. He will get the card. That is interesting, because we might actually protect Sorin. Even though it's a good deal normally, we have Farewell. So if he just goes for a big board, I can sweep everything and then start drawing extra cards, and I think then we win. He also has the... yeah, he's going all in. He hopes that we don't have a sweeper, but we do. Alright, so that should be the game, honestly. Oh, especially if draw like this. So, let's go this and Graveyards. And I mean the classic. He went really, really good, greedily, but we absolutely managed to punish it. Alright, I'll take Mirax. Why not? Why not? We can cycle Negate, probably. So they kinda, you know, went all in on this strategy, and very often it wins, but not when your opponent draws the card. Alright, so let's see it. More Scoundrels. More Scoundrels. We don't even have Celestus for ramping, so it will be very, very hard here. I need to make those fake stops, because if he has buff spells, and this is basically what the deck does, He can go so crazy, it's not even funny. Alright. I probably should have played Otawara, but hopefully we can work around it, because we have a Ganja and Negate, and cycling of Raffine Tower. A dragon. Alright. So, let it be a dragon. I think I will cycle Raffine Tower if they don't do anything. He wasn't lying. This is the dragon. So we can go with a Ganja. I think we go Takanuma. Because we need to survive this one extra turn, right? We cannot get all the damage. And we probably will go for Terror, I think. And we'll see if they protect it. We are in some trouble. They didn't, so we are kinda okay with it. Emperor is actually a really good draw here. I have double white, so right now I'm not forced to play in main phase. If he keeps attacking, I'll just keep playing samurais. Sure. This is a very weird draw on our opponent as well. So we drew so many lands, but we kinda went through it, and he drew all the scoundrels from the deck. I think he might not have too much. So we will just make samurais and start trading, because 1/1s are not good enough to, you know, threaten the thing. And I don't think they have instants. So now we make another one. We don't need to live game.
We must protect.
And we just wait with counter spells. Even though he has those dragons, don't forget we can always use the cycling ability and get rid of both of them. And we have Sunfall. And for example, this one is not a dragon, and that's a big difference. So we pay, we counter it, and I don't think Negate makes any sense. They probably don't play a single non-creature spell in this whole deck. Now they cannot really attack, and this is the last card. It could be something good, like it could be 5 or 7 drop, so it's not over. I could make another. 7 mana, so there's no point in playing the Wanderer and getting rid of this, I think. We could lifelink something. We could lifelink, but I don't think it's very good. So what do we want to go for? You know what? Okay, I changed my mind. I will go for the lifelink.
Remember your training.
This is not the best play ever, but if they have no interaction, this will give us so much value, and this also has vigilance. Yep, and I don't think they can burst us with this kind of deck. I will absolutely trade for those two. Like, we didn't need to pay for Sunfall. This is my favorite way to win the game. You have the sweeper, you have the answer, the perfect answer, but you don't need it because you are trying to, you know, outplay with your cards a little bit. So we can just... Oh, the ward. I nearly forgot about the ward. Alright, so we could Sunfall this. Okay, I think this is what we will do. It has lifelink for 1 turn only? Alright, never mind. Man, I was sure this is a soldier, but it's samurai. So, we don't really gain anything here. Alright, that was a little bit of a whiff, but don't you worry. We are fine. This has words, so we cannot normally answer it, but we'll just go with this play. And this will be even better. Yeah, for some reason I always use the -2 on those 1/1 tokens with lifelink, and I forgot that it gives flying and not the lifelink. So they have Stomper, but we can outgrow it very quickly. Yeah, for the lifelink I think we can even lose Elspeth. Double Stomper. Yeah, this just won't be good enough, especially with the Eternal Wanderer. And especially with this one. So, let's go with this. Let's go with this. And this will be what, 7 damage. I think we just try to raise him, honestly. Especially that we can go with Wedding Announcement. We don't get the thing. Alright, Okay, man, not my best day so far. So we'll keep it for the next turn. But that also means we get the token, which is actually better. So I don't think whatever they will top deck, like they need to top deck Terror into like Tyrant. They need like at least 2 cards to go for direct damage. Sure. And that's the problem. Without the Trample, it's not very scary against the Wedding Announcement. So we can just, I mean we can just go this. So we force this out of the game. Our opponent is nice enough to stay, but not for long. Alright, so we go for 8 damage with the Emperor counter, and that's kinda it. Yeah, he just didn't get enough value. Terror of the Peaks was the biggest deal of this whole deck. Alright guys, so you know what? Nothing really happened. Our opponent is of course on the play with a lot of red things. And that's kinda it. He's out of base. He already played the whole game basically. He played those 3 creatures with 1/1s and haste. So that's it. We need to keep the removal, so the go for the throat is super important. They have flyers. Our opponent, as always, with 2 cards, he will make this decision forever. It's one of the hardest decisions, so buff the cheek. So this is kinda everything. That's an interesting decision. So generally we kinda want to kill the chick because we have Wedding Announcement into Sorin, but I kinda answered myself. We have Sorin, so that means we should be able to play it on curve and, you know, get the 3/4 vampires with the lifelink. And if he has a buff spell, he played very well with this one. Yep, we don't really have choice. We play Wedding Announcement. It doesn't do anything right now, but it will start doing stuff in few turns. Like when it flips, it makes Sorin so much more powerful. See? It already is doing stuff. Like it just life gained me 3. So at this rate, this is 3 mana, gain 9 life. Like imagine this kind of card. So we can go with the Emperor. Listen, I think this is the Emperor. We could go when they attack, but if they are super smart, they won't attack. With the Godric and just start going for this one. But then we're kinda okay as well, right? But we don't have the right mana. Alright, that has to convince me. I think I wouldn't go for the main phase in the end. But in this situation we kinda have to. Our opponent is pure top deck mode, and we can block everything on ground, so it's basically playing... We need 2 turns. We need to play Sorin and then see the attack. This is good for him, but he needs to devote 1 damage. Yeah, I think we will win unless he draws something really good. Like, I think he needs Monstrous Rage right now. We don't want to pain, but we will pain. But on the bright side, we will flip Wedding Announcement on this turn, so that's huge. Alright, let's go for it. And we keep this one as well, because all we need to do is keep those 2 vampires, and we will win the game. Also, we have Otawara. And this Anthem effect is the most important thing. That will accelerate our stabilization so much. And with this, he lost. Explosion time. You can play another game. Oh man. Should I say something again about Mono Red? I probably shouldn't, right? But I shouldn't. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed. Alright guys, I hope you had some entertainment for today. And honestly, Planeswalkers decks are really entertaining to watch and to play just because you have so many new cool abilities every single turn, and it kinda has this, you know, lure of you are kinda cheating because your opponent draws 1 card a turn, but you are drawing 2, and I think this is what makes it so fun. Honestly, Esper Planeswalkers is probably like the most versatile, especially that with Kaito you can start drawing cards really quickly, and also this little ninja is always annoying for your opponent. Like, they need to answer it sooner or later, and with all the sweepers, all this kind of stuff, you are as safe as with every other control. We're skipping a little bit on the counter spells in this version. We only have 3, so it's for the key moments like Jaces and stuff. stuff. However, on the other side, you have so many so many planeswalkers, and they're of different types, so you can stack, possibly what, 6, 7, 8, like 9 of them on the board at the same time. So your opponent will run out of counter spells very, very quickly, especially if he's playing the usual version, which he probably counters 2 spells, the rest goes through. So I honestly enjoyed the deck. I think it's a fun way to play Esper, probably one of the best ones right now, and it's solid because you have all the sweepers, you have reveries. The wedding announcement is probably the most important. Without this card, the deck would be completely different, but with this, it's just great. You can outvalue your opponent in the board, and how cool is that? So guys, I won't bore you to death with another analysis of, Control Esper, but I really hope you had a great fun. And yeah, tell me in the comments how you enjoyed the video, how you enjoyed the deck. I would really love to know, and yeah, just want to say thank you for being here, for watching every single day. Like, it means a lot to me, and yeah, just wanted to say thank you. So guys, have fun and see you tomorrow.